Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Burning Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Burning Truth, and I am your host, Matt Burns, and as you can probably guess straight away from that introduction, unfortunately, once again, for this week, for another week, should I say more so, that my esteemed colleague that I normally co-host this with is unfortunately not being able to make it for this episode. So, unfortunately, the man, the myth, the legend, Nathan Goth, is not here today. Also, what you will also notice is today's episode isn't live. That is because due to certain scheduling that will be occurring today on the 9th of the 12th, 2017. It's been pre-recorded. The reason why is because on this day, both myself and Nathan Goth will be attending a show. We will be attending Wrestle Midlands show, which should have plenty of action and whatnot, plenty of international stars and whatnot, and it's got its very own Rumble involved with some unknown wrestlers and interesting key players that might play involved. However, unfortunately, I don't know who they are and whatnot. The only way I will even know myself is by attending, which both me and Nathan Goth will be attending. Now, let's move on with this week's show. We do actually have some interesting news, and it involves Netflix, which is the Glow series. If everyone remembers it, which was the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, which is a Netflix original series. I will say I've watched it myself. I have to say, when I first watched it, I didn't know what to make of it. I thought, are they mocking wrestling and whatnot at first? But then when you actually further watch it, you actually see how serious they are. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's something I would recommend anybody watching if they fancy watching something new, or even just for a laugh, because I will say it does produce plenty of laughs for the show. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Glow at the moment in time is because the Writers Guild of America has released some nominees for their 2018 award ceremony, and Netflix Glow has been nominated for Best New Series and Best Comedy Series, which it will be competing against a number of shows. In the comedy series section, it's going up against Curb Your Enthusiasm, Master of None, Silicon Valley, and Veep. Where in the new series, it's going up against American Vandal, The Deuce, The Handmaid's Tale, and Ozark. Now, I will say it's very interesting to see that this has been nominated. I will say I can't state in all of them if it will win either one or both and whatnot. However, I do actually think it's in high regard, and the fact that it's been nominated is fantastic news for the TV series, which is linked to wrestling. And if anyone wants, like I said before, if anybody wants to watch it, you can catch that on Netflix, as it's a Netflix original. Moving on from that news, I will state also that in WWE news, we've had Roman Reigns against Triple H, and that was like on a house show. I will state we've actually saw some of the entrances and then finished the match, which was effectively Roman Reigns defending his Intercontinental Championship against Triple H. Now before the match actually happened, it was quite interesting to see how Triple H might react towards the Shield, especially with them tagging while Roman was away. It was interesting that he still had a bit of animosity towards Roman, and that he was going to face him, but only if the IC title was on the line. Roman accepted. Match is now over, and Roman became the victor. What was interesting was the fact that after the match, you had Samoa Joe and the Bar come out and started beating down on Roman Reigns. Now it looked like Triple H was going to be may have orchestrated it, or or it might take advantage of the situation to lay in another hit on Roman. However, that wasn't the case. Triple H decided to do a bit of a swerve and sort of catch the Bar and Samoa Joe off guard by literally attacking them instead, trying to sort of defend Roman. Eventually, it was 3-on-2. The numbers game did sort of take advantage. However, numbers did switch over, especially when Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins made their way to the ring and sort of fought off the Bar and Samoa Joe. And what was interesting with this is that the fact that Triple H was fighting with the Shield, and then straight after you saw Roman place the hand out, showing the respect. The fact is to Triple H, and the crowd was saying shake his hand, which shows that the crowd wanted it. And I will say it's an interesting dynamic because as much what it had to be Roman handing out the hand to Triple H, especially with him sending the olive branch by jumping to his aid, while the Bar and Samoa Joe were laying it in thick. But that's some interesting news. But if anybody wants to see that, you can see that on YouTube and whatnot. So that's an interesting find. Also, another interesting find for WWE is the fact that Matt Hardy has been awoken. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is just the delete gimmick. Yeah, it is, but a lot of people might find it confusing that he's, instead of saying he is deleted or, broken, the actual statement should have been, broken Matt Hardy, not deleted. My mistake. The fact is, he is awoken. And the reason why they've gone with that terminology is basically so WWE can actually purchase the rights to that and whatnot. So they will most likely get the royalties. That is a possibility. However, the one thing I will state that is quite interesting, there is rumours stating that Vince McMahon himself is very interested in the idea and keen on Matt Hardy, and supposedly is giving him full leeway to go as much as he wants in regards to how his character is going to be displayed potentially. Now, we'll see how that comes to be with the fan reaction. But it is, I will say, they couldn't have picked a better person for Matt Hardy to become awoken against in Bray Wyatt. I will state, it's somebody, when Matt Hardy, came back to the WWE, the only person I could, and I noticed he wasn't in his broken state. I thought it was quite interesting, and I thought to myself, he's going to revert back to his old self. Is he going to be bringing it in? And the only person I thought of bringing it out is possibly either Jeff Hardy, Jeff Hardy doing it by mistake, or Bray Wyatt, because they want to bring it. Does he does have that mind game thing on against a number of other people, which is quite interesting. But it's so good to see that he is getting into his character, and you can see he's actually having fun with it. But also, what I did also find interesting is a vignette that was posted on YouTube with Matt Hardy. You can see him emerging to be awoken, and then you hear him call Senor Benjamin, get my jacket, and sort of call for his family to be involved. Now the question is Senor Benjamin going to be fully displayed, on camera as much as like how he was on TNA, and if he is displayed, will he be under contract? That will, more on that later when that is revealed. But so far, the only thing he's been mentioned, Senor Benjamin, but there's been sort of signs, displays, looks like that it could be him. But the problem is, you don't get a clear view if it is him. It could be anybody else playing, sort of, with a dark shadow. But it's interesting that they are going down that route with the Woken Matt Hardy. But the good news is, at least, even though technically at the moment supposedly TNA or basically how possibly Impact Wrestling do actually own the supposed rights to the Hardy gimmick. However, that will be up for debate and whatnot, and possibly will be returning to Matt Hardy, as previously mentioned in past episodes. Now the question is once he has got it, I will find it very interesting, because he's doing the whole Woken stuff on WWE. The second he comes out, if he has got the rights to use it, he will be able to keep his character going while on the independence. But the only difference being is, on the independence he'll be considered as broken, while in WWE he's awoken. So it's just let's see where this goes. The only thing I can see going is, I can see it going far and getting quite interesting. But we'll discuss that at a later date when more is revealed and we get to see how the character develops. Now, some interesting news for WWE, but also for the UK scene. Pete Dunne is supposed to be defending his UK Championship against Tyler Bate, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Tyler Bate actually used his rematch clause. So that could be a big match made. I'm not sure if it's going to be used on a regular NXT show or if it's going to be a takeover special. Regardless of it, it's going to be a must-see, because the first time that them pair faced each other for the UK champion, well, first and second time, this will be the third. And the scary thing about it is, they want a piece against each other in WWE, in sort of WWE records. Who's going to come out on top? Personally, I think Pete Dunne's going to keep the UK Championship, defeating Tyler Bate. That's just my thoughts in regards to that, but I still think it's going to be a highly fought contact, and definitely one to recommend anybody to watch. You can either watch the past matches on the UK on the WWE network. Not plugging the how much it costs. No. Not today. Even though it's just $9.99. Oh, sorry, my bad. Now, it's going to be an interesting match, per se, either way. So, if it's on an NXT show, you're getting something special on NXT. If you get it on a takeover special, it's still going to be good. So, check that, one to check out. Now, while we're still on the topic of Pete Dunne, somebody has supposedly sent out a challenge, possibly within the last few weeks, which was Joseph Connor sent out a challenge to Pete Dunne. However, he did state that if Pete Dunne was going to accept, that Joseph Connor would only be interested if the WWE UK Championship was on the line, and I believe that that event might happen at a Progress event, possibly. Not 100% sure, but it's a possibility. However, that if Pete Dunne does get past Tyler Bate, that could be a future match. Another future contender for Pete Dunne for the WWE UK Championship. Joseph Connors, fantastic wrestler. I know him personally myself, and I know I've met Pete Dunne myself personally, but that match will be interesting. But in it, as much as I know that Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne is a great match. I still think that Joseph Connors and Pete Dunne will be a great match as well, but for different reasons. Because I think they'll have because Joseph Connors doesn't wrestle like Tyler Bate, and regardless of it, I will state the style will still mix. So it'll also show that how good Pete Dunne is on diversing his skills to different wrestlers. So that is one to watch out and keep an eye out. However, if any more does come out of this, I will hopefully provide the update and get the news out to you. Now, we've got to move on to some UK news for Defiant Wrestling, formerly known as WCPW, which was part of What Culture. I know Nathan will probably be cursing me right now. Now, the interesting thing about it is Defiant Wrestling recently was stating that they were going to be last Monday revealing a new signee for the company. Now, just as Stu Bennett was presenting the Defiant Championship to the current holder, Marty Skittle, the villain, the new instead of allowing Stu Bennett to announce who the new signee decided to step out and make his name known. And I will state, to a few people's surprise, it wasn't a UK wrestler. In fact, it was someone who has fought in the best company, in the top companies. He has wrestled for ROH. He has wrestled for TNA, Impact Wrestling. He has wrestled for WWE. He is the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. Now, I will say this. That is a great signing for Defiant Wrestling. Now, one thing I will state is, if I'm not mistaken, that is the second UK company that he is now officially signed with. I believe the first one is the IPW UK, which he was supposedly meant to be exclusive. However, the way it was worded, that Stu somehow managed to get Austin Aries' interest and supposedly got him signed to to them. So it's just them two now. Now, I will say, great signing for Austin Aries for the UK scene. Phenomenal wrestler, I will state. And he's already showing straight away he wants straight into the title picture and become possibly someone to fight for the championship. Now, moving on from that situation, moving on from that situation, which I'm just moving on from that, but going to stay on to the Defiant scene. Defiant have actually released a new way to watch it. Now, WCPW used to be watched on the What Culture Extra for a certain subscription. Now, I don't think it might still be on there, but it might not be, as possibly all the content has actually been moved to a new area. Now, the new area where you can actually watch all past WCPW shows, all of the loaded episodes and everything, all past episodes, all iPay-per-views and everything, and also current Defiant Wrestling, events, as well as exclusive content and whatnot, which is Access Defiance. Now, the interesting thing about it is you've got like a bit of an ongoing deal. If you want to watch any of Defiant stuff, you can watch it on either TV Player for just £9.99. It's a one-off payments, and that's only in the UK. For worldwide, you can watch it on Fight for one-off payments of $14.99. Or if necessary, you can also pay for a on-demand, which is Access Defiance, which is $8.99. But you also get exclusive content for Defiant on there as well, which could involve special interviews, content, blogging, and everything, which will be possibly a bit more in depth. However, they do actually have a video in regards to with details of this, which is on YouTube, and I believe it might be under Accent Defiant now available. Watch live for free on December 4th, which I think that was just for that day where you can watch it for free. But then, but I think you do actually get some sort of 30-day free trial with Access Defiant potentially as well. So with that, so that's all the news in regards to that. Now we're still involved. We're still going to be staying on the UK scene at the moment, and I'm going to have to bring up some news to do with Cultaholic. Now, Cultaholic has still been pushing on, producing their wrestling content and whatnot. I know Nathan's probably still cursing because I'm involving the guys who were involved with What Culture, the ones that suddenly left. Now they've got their own channel. Now, at the moment in time, currently, I doubt. Well, I doubt there's going to be any changes to any personnel or anybody going to be added onto it. Now, if you remember on a previous episode, Adam Blompier was supposed to meant to be starting the Cultureholic channel with his friends and whatnot. However, due to a certain scandal and whatnot, he's decided to opt out of it and whatnot. Now, we hadn't heard much from Adam Blompier in regards to it until I recently found a YouTube video on his own recent new personal channel, which is Adam Blompier. If anybody wants us to check it out, in regards, he does actually provide an update. Now, some people could turn around and say, some people could be against him, might send him hate messages on there. Some people might provide support for him and everything. The one thing I will state is I saw the video clip that he had posted on the 29th November 2017, and I will state he openly admits certain issues, in regards to the controversy that forced him to leave Cultaholic. He openly admits he does have issues, but he is seeking help and whatnot, and he is hoping to continue forward. However, he isn't. He does state on it. He isn't sure if he's going to be involved with YouTube because of it might actually cause more issues and bring old wounds back in regards to the controversy that was involved. He does state on it that he is very sorry in regards to the situation, and it can vary on how much you can believe him or not. Now, everyone will have a different view of an opinion in regards to the actual situation. I'm not going to talk too much about the actual situation because I will state it's something that's not really wrestling related, and it can be a bit of a sore subject as well. Now, if anybody wants to see that video for themselves, openly look, you're more than welcome to look it up. Just type in Adam Blompier. He's got his own channel, Adam Blompier. Check it out if you want to see for yourself. See if you believe him or not. I'm not going to state my views on it because I've already made an opinion in regards to it already. Now, I'm not going to state my opinion at this moment in time because I feel as though that is something that I would like to have Nathan Goff here so we can both sort of compare, see if we're on the same page or if we have different views on it or not. So you could hear our views on a upcoming episode potentially. However, can't guarantee it. Now, on to the next subject, and this is to do with something I actually stated would be up at the moment now on our website, which was the Academy review of a show called Remember the 4th of November. Now, unfortunately, due to time constraints and whatnot, in a busy schedule, I haven't been able to get all the updates and whatnot done in regards to getting it up. Now, I came across a few glitches with the review, and I felt personally that if I uploaded it in the state that it currently was in, it wouldn't be as fitting and wouldn't do the show any justice. It wouldn't do the Academy, the Academy any justice in regards to the hard work that they actually put into it. So the reason why I'm apologising, it's not up yet. The reason why is because I've had some technical difficulties with trying to get the review up and whatnot, and I am trying to get it right, and if necessary I will redo the actual whole review from scratch if I have to myself in regards to it, because I want to make sure we do the Academy justice in regards to the shows that they produce, which I will say are top notch, and recommend anybody to attend any of them. Now, with that out of the way, I'm just going to do some quick, we're at that time now where we basically do our usual plugs. So we recommend you check out the UK Wrestle Fan Zone, UKWA. They do fantastic camera work, footage, photography. They also have the UKWA Championship, which, if I'm not mistaken, is actually on a wrestler that does wrestle for the Academy, in Joey Sanchez. Fantastic champion, and I will state that as well. I also recommend you check out Team 4-Star, who are always producing great content and whatnot, be it either Dragon Ball Abridged, Final Fantasy VII Machine Minute. I do apologise if I mispronounced that, and anything else in regards to it. Great content. I'd like to also send some plugs over to Botchamania as always. The man works hard on it, always finds fantastic work and whatnot. I'm going to give out another shout out to The New Breed as always. Fantastic band, Ben see them myself. Now, last week I did state there was going to be a music video being released on Monday, which, if I'm not mistaken, that date was, just getting it now, which was the 4th. Now, unfortunately, I was mistaken, and unfortunately, the actual music video, actually came out on the 8th of the 12th, 2017, so the previous day, which is their first music video, which is Soul Train No Easy Way Out. I recommend anybody to check that out. You can find that out on the New Breed YouTube channel. So recommend if anybody wants to see that, give that a check. And I will say, interesting music video, very unique. And the very good thing about it is the person who actually did all the editing and recording, The New Breed themselves. So give it a check out. I'm also going to give another shout out to another YouTube channel, Smosh Games, which both me and Nathan have been watching lately because of the summer games and everything that they did. Some old content, absolutely fantastic, funny as always. Recommend that. And the last plug I'm going to be giving is for Changes for Healthy Minds. We do recommend anybody to give that a quick check and whatnot. Give UK Changes a check. Check out their website, because you may not require help for yourself, however it might actually help you provide some assistance to anybody else who does need help. So we do recommend you do check that out. And with that would be all the plugs out. I will say they seem to be getting out, coming out more and more, coming out and whatnot. So it's going to get longer and longer than the plugs are. So with that, I'm going to say that is a wrap up for this week. And with that, I hope you all stay well. And just so you know, the next week possibly will be another pre-recorded episode, as well as we are at the Academy anniversary show 2 next week. So it'll either be a pre-recorded episode or we might not have an episode. However, if we don't do an episode, we will probably make that very clearly announced on our social media, which where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've also got our own website, which is www.theburningtruth.co.uk, or if you can go to the content on there, click on the contact us there, or if you want to contact us directly through our email, directly straight to our email, instead of going to the website, you can contact us at the burning truth at outlook.com. So with that, we hope you stay well, stay safe. Hopefully you catch the next episode next week. Until then, we hope to catch you at the next broadcast, the next interview, or the next review. Till then, stay safe. Catch you later.